Old man, dead in a room. This thing upon me is not death, but it's as real. And as landlords full of maggots pound for rent, I eat walnuts in the sheath of my privacy and listen for more important drummers. It's as real as a broken boned sparrow, cat mouthed to utter more than near and miserable argument. Between my toes I stare at clouds, at seas of gaunt spelker, and scratch my back and form a vowel, as all my lovely women, wives and lovers, break like engines into some steam of sorrow, to be blown into eclipse. Bone is bone. But this thing upon me as I tear the window shades and walk caged rugs, this thing upon me like a flower and a feast, believe me, is not death and is not glory. And like quicksilver tea, windmills, makes a foe turn by the heavens against one man. This thing upon me, great God, this thing upon me, crawling like a snake, terrifying my love of commonness. Some call art, some call poetry. It's not death, but dying will solve its power. And as my gray hands drop at a last desperate pen in some cheap room, they will find me there and never know my name, my meaning, nor the treasure of my escape. I sound like I moaned there for a second, right? Okay, when I first started reading, obviously I couldn't read for shit. I still can't, still trying to better my skills, my reading skills. But this is the one I'm going to read right now. To the Whore Who Took My Poems is one of the first poems that I read, and I just, it was silly. But here we go. To the whore who took my poems. Some say we should keep personal remorse from the poem. Stay abstract, and there is some reason in this. But Jesus, 12 poems gone, and I don't keep carbons. And you have my paintings too, my best ones. It's stifling. Are you trying to crush me out like the rest of them? Why don't you take my money? They usually do, from the sleeping drunken pants sick in the corner. Next time, take my left arm or a 50, but not my poems. I'm not Shakespeare, but sometimes simply there won't be any more, abstract or otherwise. There'll always be money and whores and drunkards, down to the last bomb. But as God said, crossing his legs, I see where I have made plenty of poets, but not so very much poetry. I love that poem. Not sure what I mean when I say I love that poem. I guess I'm just saying that psychologically speaking, I really dig that poem. I love that poem. I like that poem. I appreciate the words of the poem. I don't know. I like the way the poem was created. So excuse me by saying I love. one more. And we're gonna stop, and we're gonna continue, but on another recording bar, if that makes sense. Do a quick one. The Loser. And the next I remembered, I'm on the table. Everybody's gone. The head of bravery under light, scowling, flailing me down. And then some toad stood there, smoking a cigar. "Kid, you're no fighter," he told me. And I got up and knocked him over a chair. It was like a scene in a movie. And he stayed there on his big rump and said over and over, "Jesus, Jesus, what's the matter with you?" And I got up and dressed, the tape still on my hands. And when I got home, I tore the tape off my hands and wrote my first poem. And I've been fighting ever since. One more. Layover. Making love in the sun, in the morning sun, in a hotel room above the alley, where poor men poke for bottles. Making love in the sun, making love by a carpet redder than our blood. Making love while the boys sell headlines and Cadillacs. Making love by a photograph of Paris and an open pack of Chesterfields. Making love while other men, poor fools, work. That moment to this may be years in the way they measure, but it's only one sentence back in my mind. There are so many days when living stops and pulls up and sits and waits like a train on the rails. I passed the hotel at 8, and at 5 there are cats in the alleys and bottles and bums. And I look up at the window and think, I no longer know where you are. And I walk on and wonder where the living goes when it stops. Mr. Charles Bukowski, ladies and gentlemen. Okay?